everyone. So we are the group 8 and we are about to discuss or to explain to you all and show the two articles or informations that we have researched about the tourism and hospitality industry. So we have searched two articles. First is the New World Travel and Tourism Council report provides recommendations to drive recovery and enhance resilience of the tourism sector. And next is the WTTC's economic impact reports. So first is I will be discussing the first article, which is the New World Travel Tourism Council reports provide recommendations to drive recovery and enhance resilience of the travel and tourism sector. So it is said here that His Excellency Ahmed Al Khatib, Minister of Tourism for Saudi Arabia, said this report shows the impact COVID-19 has had on the global travel and tourism industry and the advanced stages of recovery now underway. We need to be clear, unless tourism recovers, economies will not recover. We must come together to support this critical industry, which before the pandemic was responsible for the 10% of the GDP globally. So that was the Minister of Tourism of Saudi Arabia said, according to the report provides of recommendations about the about on how to enhance the resilience of the travel and tourism sector. But then we still have here a detail which will be discussed by my co-member, but Sherry, go.
So next is I will be discussing about the economic impact or the conditions that has brought um, through us to because of the pandemic. So economic impact reports. Alongside our insights reports, WTTC produces reports on the economic and employment impact of travel and tourism for 185 countries or economies and 35 geographic or economic regions in the world. So these reports, in conjunction with Oxford Economics, are vital tools in helping us to equip public and private sector bodies with hard evidence of the huge value travel and tourism brings to the economy for this further policy making and investment decision support in our sectors. So prior to the pandemic, travel and tourism has accounted for 1 in 4 of all new jobs created across the world, so 10.6% of all jobs and 10.4% of global GDP. Meanwhile, international visitor spending amounted to 1.7 trillion US dollars in 2019. So WTTC's latest annual research shows the travel and tourism sector suffered a loss of almost 4.5 trillion US dollars to reach 4.7 trillion in 2020. So Paleo to scroll down. So this data, gathered data, is showcases the tremendous effect of the pandemic in our tourism industry. So GDP decline of the global economy in 2020. In 2019, the travel and tourism sector contributed 10.4% of global GDP, a share which decreased to 5.5% in 2020 due to ongoing restrictions to mobility. In 2020, 62 million jobs were lost, representing a drop of 18.5% of leaving just 277 million employed. So, um, the threat of job losses persists as many jobs are currently supported by government retention schemes and reduced hours, which without a fully recovered travel and tourism could be lost. Domestic visitor spending decreased by 45%, while international visitor spending declined by an unprecedented 69.4%. So, these are the visuals and graphic representation of how um, devastatingly the pandemic has endangered the tourism sector. So next one slide, please. And next file there. And next reporters, Mr. Tan and Mr. Tabulong.
So these are the statistics of the Philippine condition. The global data is 10%, 10%, and 2020 is 5.5%, and 2019 is 344 mn, and 2020 has 270 mn. Next, Tabulong.
So, Philippines key data and 2019 is total contribution of travel and tourism GDP is total of 22.5%. Anya, ang 2020 kay 16.6%. Kay total contribution of to employment ang 2019 kay 9,571.3. Nya, ang 2020 ay 7,550.5. Sinius-us gid siya. O 20%. Next kay impact of visitors. 600.3 BN niya. Ang 2020 kay 127.2. Nya, ang domestic kay 3,198.1 niya. Ang 2020 kay 2,061.6. Next, si sunod.
So this is the domestic versus international spending. 2019, you have the US dollar 64.4 BN, equivalent to 84%. US dollar for 12.18 BN, 16%. For 2020, USD 4.5 BN to 94%. So, and this is the inbound arrivals, 2019. South Korea, 24%. Number 2, China, 21%. United States, 13%. Number 4, Japan, 80%. 5, Taiwan, China, 4%. That's all. And about the bound departure, we have the 2019, China, 14%. Singapore, 9%. Hong Kong, South China, 8%. United Arab Emirates, 8%. 5, Japan, 7%. And 2020, United Arab Emirates, 15%. And number 2, South Korea, 8%. 13. Number 3, Japan, 8%. Number 4, Indonesia 6%, and 5 is Singapore 6%. The rest of the world 57%. That's all.